All right, guys. So I wanted to make this video because I just need to respond to some people on Twitter. This video is for everybody, but really, I guess I'm speaking a lot to Black people because these are Black people who are they're raising some sort of dialogue, I guess. Emotionally, you can hear the word racism and it'll make you like not pay attention to any information because they tell you that it's coming out of a racist mouth. On Saturday there was that terrible Buffalo massacre. Rest in peace to the victims. We're going to talk about the truth. There's some sort of unspoken rule that it is okay for Black lives to die as long as it's by a Black hand. No, a waste of life is a waste of life. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Some people actually believe that, whether they are Black people or liberal white people. Some people believe that. No, life is life. Okay. When is the last time a Black person walked into a grocery store, killed 10 people after writing a 180-page manifesto about it? Quick. So Rhonda is trying to say, I thought Rhonda was trying to say that Black people have not done racial attacks. But the thing is, the reason why I end up pointing out that it has happened is because the media will make it seem like Black people have not done racial attacks. I'm not saying all Black people, but if we're going to, we cannot be trying to make points that are easily debunkable. That's my point. When you stick with facts, you don't say things like this because now it becomes easily debunkable. Okay. There are bad people in all cultures. Let's make that very clear. But one thing I know about the liberal media, about liberals, is that they excuse the very most disgusting behavior of Black people, of the lowest common denominator, not Black people who are out here trying to do something with themselves. I'm talking about the lowest common denominator, the ones who just kill whoever and do whatever. They always have an excuse, always because they're hungry, always because they're poor, always because they have racism and they didn't know how to deal with it. Always because they are the lowest common denominator of society. Anybody who kills, especially for no reason but not like some self-defense, anybody who kills, I don't care what culture you are, I don't care if you're polka dot, you are now the lowest common denominator of society. Anybody who hurts children is the lowest common denominator of society. I have no excuses. I don't care what you went through. Okay. Black man drove his truck through a parade full of white folk, killing old and young alike. Daryl Edward Brooks Jr. No one is arguing that this Buffalo massacre was not terrible. Hate crime, of course. But Black folk need to realize we do things too. You asked for examples, right? Well, like I said, and this is the last disclaimer I make because I need to hurry up and make this video. All right. Bad people come in all races. Okay. All right. CJG got mad. And Casey, do you do anything in the community about things that we do? Are you part of the we solution, or do you just talk about stuff we do to deflect when it happens? She asked me a question and I answered it, CJG. That's what she asked me, a question, and I answered it. What do you want me to do? And Robert Parker, thank you, was like, what are you suggesting she do in the community? Why is it her responsibility to keep people from committing crimes? Being socially active and volunteering, etc., are great, but simply being a law-abiding citizen is good enough. CJG said, then what is the point of talking about it? If being a law-abiding citizen is all you need to be, then Republicans should stop asking Black people, what about Chicago? What about Waukesha? Were we driving that car or shooting that gun? She's responding to someone who suggested Black people don't do evils comparable to what some white people do. So her point was relevant. That's just it. I was just responding. She didn't say that at all. She asked, when was the last time someone drove hours to kill a specific random race of people and wrote a manifesto? This also isn't the only time this particular person discusses these type of things. I don't even know what I don't follow that girl. The thing, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. The fact is, y'all don't like rebuttal. Y'all don't like the harsh truth. And the thing is, Daryl Brooks, the Waukesha killer, he has videos saying how much he hated white people, and then he drove his truck through a bunch of lives. He ended lives. Okay, nobody gets to do that, and we can't deflect from that either. And I'm not deflecting from what happened in Buffalo. I am answering a question. Okay. This was the whole thing when I put about because I had to reiterate, like I made a video about white replacement therapy that everybody seems to be talking about. But before I had made the video, I had to retweet this right here because I put today, a sick kook went and killed a bunch of people. Rest in peace to the dead. Put that man under the jail. But listen clearly to Tucker and tell me where he says whites were being replaced. He was talking about U.S. citizens. Anyone who thinks anything different shows me what they think. But CJG, laughing my ass off. These same people work overtime to dilute the Black vote. So how else would people not think they are talking about Americans? How does Tucker Carlson CJ? How does he dilute the Black vote? What does dilute the Black vote? What is this Black vote anyway? My vote isn't diluted. If anything, I'm diluting it right now because I'm still here making these videos, and I need to hurry up and get out there and go vote for these primaries. But I know where to go. I'll stand in a line and I'll vote. Do you know that Pennsylvania, every time we do this mail-in ballot, we voting against our Constitution, right? We changed the rules on voting without amending the Constitution. That is not a fringe conspiracy theorist thought. So what is it? Oh, to be able to mail in ballots. However, you know how many ballots go to my mom's house with my name on it? After I made my video, we have Mike Alexander who started to, a clip you need to see. This is not about local elections. This is not about local elections in New York, and I watched these clips and I tried to read these things, and I do not have time to keep. So we need immigration reform. We need better process at the border, but this constant posting of POC as threats to our way of life. White racists used terrorism across the South because they were afraid integrating with Black people was going to destroy their communities. Now you're pushing that these brown immigrants are going to harm Black communities. What's the difference? Let me make something very clear to you, okay? You do not know who's coming through. Y'all just be so ready to defend something because they got the same skin tone as you. No, I'm not. I'm not doing disclaimers. No, we're going to keep it right there. Yeah, you don't know the people coming through the border. You keep talking about these brown people coming through the border. What brown? What are you talking about? Have you seen the millions of people coming through the border? Do you know what's going on in the border? We deal with our emotions. Look at you getting so defensive about the brown people coming through the border that we're not dealing in facts, okay? Like, all right. And then, you know what I mean? So then when I read the thing about, the GOP, please read the brief history. Focus on immigrant voters overtaking whites is exactly the same arguments used to suppress Black vote for decades. When I went back and I read this, I didn't see where like that even happened here. I didn't. Everybody keeps calling, they have names for listen, I gave you the examples. Yes, it is one example, but it is going to continue to happen. Let us talk about what's going on at the border. This is coming from CBP, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. CBP only has one thing they can use today, and that's Title 42. And it's a public health order to say that they can't just allow everybody to come in because of COVID-19. But Title 42 is getting ready to go away. So in March, in total, there were 221,303 encounters. March of this year, 1,217,802. These are numbers I've never heard these numbers before. It's only March, and we've already encountered this many people. And guess what? They didn't go home. Maybe 20% of them got sent back. We need border reform. Biden vows to roll back Trump's immigration policies. Well, we did have border reform. We didn't have these problems back when Trump was in office. Oh, you think he's a savior? And people were still getting it. Yeah, like what? I think like 40,000 or something, like 50,000. Not no million in March. Wow. President Biden, he signed executive orders. I'm eliminating bad policy. What I'm doing is taking on issues and everything because, Trump was a mean guy. He was so mean. There was a zero tolerance policy where Trump would be like, yo, you want to apply for asylum? Go back to the Mexican border and apply for asylum there. So what Biden does is that he allows the people to come in. They say they claim an asylum. They come in and they give them a cell phone. I mean, there are press secretary meetings about this. I mean, there's briefings about this. They give them a cell phone. They give them a date to return back to court. And then they tell them, they ask them like, where is it that you need to go or whatever. And they get them to their sponsor in America or whatever. Just come on in. I mean, just really come on in. I don't know if Tucker Carlson's racist. I don't know where, I'm being told that the white militia, the white people want this. They diluting my vote and it's the white supremacists, and I don't know where these people are. I don't know. All I know is what's in my face. All I know is what I'm seeing. All I know is the facts. The fact that I know people who can't get Section 8 because illegal immigrants are getting them first. The fact that I've seen footage of Joe Biden illegal immigrants getting into planes and going into whatever state they want to. The fact that pallets of formula are going down to the border, but they're not there in the supermarket for the moms, whether you be black, white, whatever, the moms in the stores to buy them. The fact that all of this is being done on our tax dollars, okay? Stop being borderline. You're not a victim, okay? But if you don't pay attention to what's really going on around you, to the news that's really happening around you, it is absolutely despicable what we do. If you want to say we as a people, everything is about so much about racism. It's gotten to the point where it is delusional. I was listening to this radio station this morning. I said, let me see what urban radio station is talking about the primaries. And it was very hard for me to find one, but Word is at 96.1 in Philadelphia. If y'all want to listen to it, y'all can go ahead. You know what? I'll give him this much. He does say that you shouldn't just vote just because your ancestors died for it. You need to know why you're voting. I'll give him that much. And he did say that he is a pro-life person. And he said, he was actually talking about voting. So I'll give them that much, right? But then they go into, well, we only have a few candidates because, all the Republicans are crazy. So you know what that does to like a 13-year-old or maybe a 14-year-old black kid who actually is like reading and paying attention to policies and realizes that, hey, maybe drilling in our own land and being energy independent will actually be better for gas prices for my mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? Who actually starting to feel like they understand these kind of policies in it. But then when you say on a radio station like, oh yeah, they're crazy, this is the party of racism and this is the party, you know what that does? It brings that person, that kid who's growing, it brings them right back into that box of, well, it's racist, so I can't do it. And that's the part that I hate. That's the part that I'm tired of, and that's the part that I'm fighting. You do not have to agree with me about anything, but the facts are the facts. I just read you the facts. I gave you the facts. I don't know. You decide that you don't want to hear the facts. You decide that the facts are coming out of the wrong mouths. You decide that the facts are, whatever supremacist talking points, they are still happening. I'm almost afraid to see how bad it needs to get for you to realize that this is not that battle. Okay. There is a battle out here, but it's not that. But that's your right as an American citizen in this country, where you don't even have to listen to anything I say. All right. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you at the next one. Bye.